I bought a car a few years back, loaded with every convenience feature I could get, and for about 2 years, it was great. Then, one morning nothing worked the way it should, and when I took it to the shop, the repair estimate was almost a third of what the car was worth. The mechanic told me straight up, these systems weren't built to last. They were built to impress you on a test drive. That conversation changed how I look at every single feature on a modern car. Before we move on, please take a moment to subscribe to the channel and like the video. Number 1. Auto Start-Stop Systems. Every time you pull up to a red light in a modern car, the engine cuts off automatically, then restarts the moment you lift your foot off the brake. Engineers will tell you it saves fuel, and it does, just not enough to matter. A typical engine from the 1990s completed somewhere between 50,000 and 70,000 cold starts over its entire life, so the starter motor and battery were built around that number. A start-stop system can add hundreds of restarts per day, pushing a single commuter past 500,000 engine starts in just a few years. The starter motor, the ring gear on the flywheel, and the AGM battery all wear faster than they were ever rated for. Did you know teardown studies found measurable ring gear wear at 60,000 miles that engineers expected to see past 150,000 miles on conventional engines? You're saving maybe $80 to $120 a year in gas, and most owners never connect a dead battery at year 4 back to this system at all. Number 2. Electronic parking brakes. The old setup was a cable, a lever, and a ratchet, and any reasonably handy person could fix the whole thing on a Saturday with basic tools. A $40 cable repair. When automakers swapped that out for an electric motor and a control module, they called it progress. What actually changed is that same repair now runs $600, and a routine brake pad swap requires a proprietary scan tool just to retract the caliper piston. You won't believe how many independent shops decline brake jobs simply because they don't have the OEM software, so owners get pushed straight to the dealer for what used to be a commodity repair. Number 3. Continuously variable transmissions, CVTs. Automakers pushed CVTs hard through the 2000s and 2010s because they test well on EPA fuel economy cycles. And a car that scores better on the window sticker sells better on the lot. Simple as that. A CVT replaces fixed gear steps with a steel belt running between 2 variable diameter pulleys, and those pulleys clamp down with enormous pressure to transmit torque, which chews through the specialized fluid faster than most service intervals account for. Nissan's CVT problems got bad enough that a class action lawsuit covered millions of vehicles, with owners reporting shuddering, overheating, and complete failure well before 100,000 miles. Replacement runs $3,500 to $5,000 installed. Number 4. Cylinder deactivation systems. When you're cruising on the highway, the system quietly shuts down 4 of your 8 cylinders to save fuel, then brings them back online when you accelerate. And this happens dozens of times on a single drive without you feeling it. What you don't feel is that the deactivated cylinders run a completely different thermal and lubrication cycle than the active ones, and over time, that difference destroys cylinder walls and collapses lifters. GM's active fuel management system, fitted to millions of trucks and SUVs, developed a failure mode where collapsed AFM lifters sent metal debris through the engine oil, requiring a full teardown, new lifters, a new camshaft, and an oil pump flush, with bills landing between $4,000 and $8,000. The fix that actually works is disabling the cylinder deactivation entirely, after which the engine runs fine, so the base engine was never the problem. Number 5. Drive-by-wire throttle systems. Before the mid-1990s, your gas pedal pulled a physical cable that opened the throttle body directly, so the connection between your foot and the engine was immediate and mechanical. Drive-by-wire replaced that cable with a pedal position sensor, a control module, and an electric motor on the throttle body, and when any one of those disagrees with the others, the car drops into limp mode or loses throttle response entirely. Toyota's unintended acceleration crisis between 2009 and 2011 ended in a $1.2 billion settlement with the U.S. Department of Justice, and the electronic throttle system's behavior under fault conditions sat at the center of that investigation. Throttle position sensors wear out and fail in ways that look exactly like fuel system or transmission problems first. So diagnostic costs stack up fast before anyone identifies the actual fault. Number 6. Air suspension systems. Sit inside a Range Rover or a Lincoln Navigator and drive it over a rough road, and the ride feels genuinely different, smoother, more controlled, like the car costs twice what it does. That feeling comes from rubber airbags, a compressor, solenoid valves, height sensors, and a control module, and every single one of those components carries a shorter lifespan than the steel spring it replaced. Airbag failures start showing up between 80,000 and 120,000 miles, and one bag runs $300 to $600 just for the part. When a bag leaks, the compressor runs continuously trying to hold ride height, and it burns itself out because it was never built for that workload. Number 7. Keyless entry and push start systems. The pitch was simple. Walk up, the car unlocks, press a button, drive away, and never dig through your pockets again. That's genuinely convenient right up until you understand what the system runs on. The fob broadcasts a low-power signal continuously, so the car's receiver module and the antenna network buried in the door handles stay active around the clock, drawing a small constant current that slowly drains the main battery over time. You won't believe how straightforward the theft problem is. Relay attack devices available online for under $100. Let thieves amplify the fob signal from inside your house, trick the car into thinking the key is present, and drive off in under 30 seconds. Number 8. Turbocharging on small engines. Walk into any dealership today and try to find a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder over 2.0 liters, and you'll struggle, because the industry shifted hard towards small turbocharged engines through the 2000s to hit fuel economy targets. A turbocharger spins at up to 200,000 revolutions per minute at exhaust temperatures exceeding 1,000 degrees Celsius, lubricated entirely by engine oil, so degraded oil destroys turbo bearings incrementally every single time you drive. Ford's 1.6-liter EcoBoost, fitted to millions of Focuses, Fiestas, and Escapes, developed coolant leaking into the combustion chamber through failed head gaskets, with repairs running $3,000 to $4,500 on cars worth maybe $10,000, pushing a lot of them straight to salvage. Number 9. Advanced Driver Assistance Systems, ADAS, overload. Lane keep assist, automatic emergency braking, blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control, these all work fine in isolation. But the way they're bundled together in modern vehicles creates a repair problem that most buyers don't see coming. Every one of those features pulls from shared sensors mounted on the exterior of the car, exposed to road debris, temperature swings, and minor fender benders. One radar sensor gets knocked out of calibration, and suddenly multiple systems go offline simultaneously. A front radar replacement runs $1,200 to $2,500 just for the part, plus another $200 to $400 to calibrate it using specialized equipment most shops don't own. Number 10. Plastic engine components. Pop the hood on a car from the 1980s and you'll find metal intake manifolds, metal coolant pipes, metal thermostat housings. Do the same on a 2015 model, and a lot of those parts are now glass-filled nylon, because plastic costs less to make and molds into complex shapes easily. What plastic can't do is survive endless heat cycles between a cold start and 220 degrees Fahrenheit day after day for a decade, so the material gets brittle and cracks at mileage intervals that line up suspiciously close to the end of most powertrain warranties. BMW's plastic cooling system failures got so predictable through the 2000s and 2010s that mechanics sell preventive replacement kits bundling the water pump, thermostat housing, expansion tank, and coolant pipes together, because waiting for each piece to fail individually gets expensive fast. A cracked coolant pipe overheats the engine in minutes, and if you don't catch it, a $150 plastic part turns into a $4,000 head gasket job. Every feature on this list got added to pass a regulatory test, hit a marketing bullet point, or shave cost out of manufacturing. Almost none of them got added because they make the car last longer. So the next time a salesperson walks you through the feature sheet, the honest question is, which of these will I be paying to fix at 90,000 miles?